All right, and a wonderful day to each and every one of you. I hope that you are all doing well. And I say a big hello, friends. And from a distance, as you can see, I am Zooming the Trenton 365 show and subsequent podcast because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So first and foremost, make sure everyone is doing the proper things. Listen to the professionals out there, just not your cousin or just someone on the street or someone on Facebook just randomly talking. Listen to the professionals, pay attention, use the CDC guidelines, et cetera, and then maybe we can get beyond where we are now. We can get together. People like me who are extroverts love the community of being next to other human beings, and times like this is extremely difficult. So to those of you who are out there who are in one of those spaces, and plus we're going to change the sun, it's going to be getting darker sooner and it's colder and everything. So I know that people have lots of different issues with that. Please just let others know that you're one of those folks, especially your loved ones. And in addition to that, take some precautions. Let's try to figure this out together. And especially people of color who are in that situation, let's stop being shy and pretending that it doesn't happen to us, because it does. I'm going to raise my hand and say that I'm one of those folks who likes to have the sun. So anyway, that's almost like my opening monologue. But I think it's a great segue into this next conversation, and it's with Danielle Miller Winrow, who I've known for as long as I can remember. It's families are intertwined. Even as adults, we've become even closer than we were when we were children. It's just quite amazing. And oftentimes I find myself realizing that a lot of the good people who I grew up with are even better human beings. And she was one of those folks. And Danielle, for those of you who don't know, is the founder of Sprout U School of the Arts, which is located in Trenton, New Jersey. We're going to be talking in particular about that. But we're also going to be talking about arts education and the importance of arts education in a well-rounded, holistic approach to making better human beings who are currently young people who are going to be adults at one point in time. So with that being said, it is my pleasure to bring on to camera always beautiful, stylish, and fashionable. I can't even keep up, y'all.
Cut it out.
But looking on point all the time. Danielle, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. I'm doing well.
It's good. And please accept my compliment about how awesome you look.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jacque. I appreciate that. Even though the inside appearance is totally different, I'm glad that the outside is inviting.
And you know what? And I want to say hallelujah, and let's get right into it. And if you need to take a moment, I'll jump in and start talking. But let's get into the meat and potatoes about how important it is, art education, and what you do at Sprout U School of the Arts.
Well, Sprout, this year, being that we have the pandemic, we are using the blended model, which we are face-to-face Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And Wednesdays, the children are all virtual. That day we actually get the school cleaned, so we're COVID compliant. But we've been having fun in our new normal. I've partnered with Pearson Online Academy. I figured that was a great way to go. Therefore, I'm not jeopardizing my teachers that were there with me last year. And I'm not putting them in an uncomfortable position as far as Zooming. Some teachers are still getting used to using the computer or going virtual, teaching students. And I've experienced like a learning gap with my students. So I figured, during the pandemic, I had time to think, and I said, it would be great if I could find a way so that my students, when they do come back, that they had experienced teachers that were teaching them, because I know that some things were lost. And so I researched Pearson Online Academy. It's an accredited private online school, and it's wonderful. There's not a teacher there every single day teaching the class. And that's why we, which is myself and 4 other teachers, are learning coaches. And so we're there as like assisting the virtual teachers on the days that they don't have live lessons. And they are really, really good teachers because all the parents can really contact them at any time. They get back to their emails right away. If you place a call, they will call you back. And honestly, I think that I made a really good decision, partnering with Pearson, because they've really supplemented for me. And then on the other side, with the teachers that are there face to face, I have a theater teacher. Her name is Miss Kelly Tharp. There's my daughter teaching. She does the social media, video technology. That's her window this year. And I'm doing art theory. I'm going to soon partner again with Artworks so that I can get my visual and fine arts, but trying to get this thing to fit together because of the uncertainty has been difficult with some things. I have since found new partners, or they found me. Trenton Music Makers now provides my string instruments. My students from K through 12th actually got a chance to choose from the cello, the violin, or the viola. And it's amazing. It's amazing. And I knew I just needed, there are pieces, the puzzle wasn't complete. I for 4 years, I really wanted a music program in the school, and I wasn't able to acquire it. And this year it happened. But what's happening now is that, with programs such as Trenton Music Makers, they don't have the funding to fund, let's say, a school. And so now, I don't want my program to leave because I don't have funding. I want to keep it there because it completes my students. All of my students aren't academically like AB students. Some are average students, but they're striving hard and they excel. There's some that excel in the arts. It's unbelievable when they pick up an instrument that they've never picked up before, and it just clicks. It's amazing. The other partnership I have is with Trenton Children's Chorus, and they provide my after-school programming. And that's another really amazing 501(c)(3). The kids have a choice of vocal performance, musical theater. The instruments of choice are the ukulele, drumming, and piano. It's amazing. And they also have a learning academy, which they tutor students that have deficiencies or that need a review. And so that particular 501(c), they don't turn anyone away, which is perfect because in the real world, it's just not affordable for most families. You're really trying to make ends meet, and you don't have room for extracurricular. But I know every parent out there wants a well-rounded student. They want to be able to take their kids anywhere and have them acclimate to their surroundings. And they're not looking at what color they are or, what they can't do is what they can do. And they're willing to try everything. And that's what I find with my students. There's no one's shy. No one's shy.
Danielle, I want to go a little deeper into the well-roundedness of what Sprout U is providing. I've been fortunate enough to see the students, and some of them on more than one occasion over the years, not only perform at spaces like Westminster Presbyterian Church and other faith institutions in Trenton and beyond, but to also see them and have them as guests in the professional studios of WIMG on several occasions, of different ethnicities, of different ages, different genders, and they all communicated and expressed themselves in a way that was adult-like. I've seen and watched and supported the interaction of your students traveling across the country to perform.
Right.
And to see what they're doing locally, as well as performing during the Levitt Trenton Summer Concert Series, how they conduct themselves around international Hall of Fame style artists, such as your aunt, Sarah Dash, and the other legendary performers that she has. So there is more to just them becoming artists, so to speak. You're helping to develop them into better human beings for all of society.
Right.
I want you to just really drill down a bit more on the well-roundedness and the holistic approach of what Sprout U is doing and why you think that's so important.
Because Sprout allows the student to be themselves, and we don't teach them how to think. We allow them to figure it out. Critical thinking skills are important because if we teach them how to learn, then when they're forced to do it, they don't know how. They're looking for that crutch or that person or that thing, that how they were taught. If you let them figure it out themselves, it it just it makes them a whole person. Like they're not who we want them to be. They're who they want to be. You teach them to be happy with themselves early. You don't need to be like that. You don't need to be like Shirley. You need to be like you. You have to be happy within yourself. And I think once you're happy within yourself, you can do anything and be anywhere. You can speak to anyone because the confidence is within you. And that's what Sprout provides. We allow them to be themselves and find out or figure out who they want to be and where they want to go. And we travel that road with them. We're there as a safety net. If they fall, we pick them back up and we encourage them to try another way.
I also want to say that the times that I have interviewed your students, you have really not been a part of the interview. And when you were, it was very, very reluctantly done. And and I think it's obvious to me that the focus of what Sprout U is doing is all about the children.
Exactly.
Please share a bit about that, like the passion that you have. I'm sorry I'm putting you in this spot, but I think it's important for people to know this.
Yeah, I guess, I'm not in the spotlight. I think with a lot of us, we want to be in the spotlight, or maybe we're actually living vicariously through our kids. But we have to give them a chance to live. We've had our chance and we've had our time. And I think when the Sprouts speak, they speak. That's me. I am Sprout. And that's why I give them the opportunity. Because if I'm constantly answering questions, and I'm not letting them speak when I'm not there, are they capable of doing it? Here's an example. Some places that we go to, the auditions, I can go in because I know the director. And then there's places where I have to be inside waiting for them to come out and have the confidence within them. Well, I have to believe in them enough that they can go in there without me. And so I start at home. That's the roots. And then we can branch out. That's what Sprout is. Sprout is, this is how I described it before. When I was younger, my mother she has a green thumb, so to speak. And so I would watch her plant the seeds, put them actually inside this small pot, and then it would grow. And I would watch my mother take the plant out of the pot, out of the planter, and put it in another one. And I would continue to see her each time this plant would grow and grow and grow. And that's how Sprout is to me. It's like, I plant the seeds and it grows. And then eventually, there's branches and flowers or leaves, and the leaves blow in the wind and they end in places that I have no idea where they're going. But I know that I was in the roots. I'm in the roots. I'm in the roots of these leaves and these flowers and these branches. It all starts right here. And so I'm happy to see my kids excel. I'm happy for them to come onto your show and I can sit back and listen to them, because there are some things I don't know what's going to come from their mouths because it's not practice, and some people have to prep their kids before they go on, or, there's this practice speech that they have for when, they're interviewed. But Sprout just says how they feel. And I think that we should be able to say how we feel.
I just had a thought when as you were explaining that, and it was almost like this quick vision, almost like they're unabashedly themselves and Trenton.
Exactly.
All right, so Danielle, I want to talk a little bit about the other organizations, right? Like you talked about the Trenton music.
Makers.
I can't believe I'm missing the name.
Makers.
That's right. Trenton Music Makers, TMM. I'm sorry.
Right.
And Trenton Children's Chorus.
And
Both of
then,
them I've been affiliated with, and it's crazy. I guess
right.
it's what you get distracted when you're outside. But anyway, with Trenton Music Makers and Trenton Children's Chorus, as well as Sprout U, and there's lots of other folks who are doing art-related programming in schools, etc. It's obvious to me that art is something that is extremely important to people here in Trenton, and in particular, young people. So, can you just talk about the importance of that and how that's helping to develop our next generation?
Well, when we create schools or we create programming, um, we say, or schools say that it's for the whole child. But I think I mentioned it before. Brick and mortar isn't for everybody. You know, Creativity is needed. Kids need to be in a creative environment. So they can grow. They grow because they can think differently and not be ridiculed, or think differently and not and be told that it's wrong. There is no wrong in art. There is no wrong in art. It's an experiment, a successful experiment, and everyone should have a chance to experiment with art. And the artist, the umbrella is vast. It's not just drawing, and it's not painting. There's behind the scenes, there's stage. You can become an engineer. You can become, if you're a director, who knows where that'll take you. You From directing to being the president of the United States. You're a leader. The arts had so many different, I want to say, branches. It starts here, and then you branch off from it. And I don't understand why the first thing they want to do is cut the arts. So many kids need it. So many kids need another place to be in here mentally. In the arts, you can go anywhere. And you can be in one place and be all around the world. Your paintings can take you, other places, abstract painting, just, I don't know, writing scripts. Your script of your life could be something that can turn later into a book. It could be a drama series or a film. The arts was one of the things that kept us all sane during the pandemic. If we didn't have a TV, music, or, some people went to their crafts. They started crafting, they started painting, they started putting things together. They started redecorating their homes. So I know that art helps me survive. And I know that that's my ticket. That's the golden ticket for Sprout. I set the foundation, and these kids, it never leaves them. I get messages from parents, thanking me for the foundation. And I never thought that it would go as far as it has. Like, just teaching and loving what I do, I didn't realize that it was going to basically transform these little people into these wonderful adults. And they're willing to fall and get up. A lot of us, the kids, they're deemed failures if they're not academically smart, but they're not. Give them that other thing and watch them excel. And a lot of times, like I want to say, when I was teaching about ballet, the football players or the athletes were like, oh my God, Miss Dio, I didn't know that. I said, yeah, off season, these football players, they take ballet. I mean, arts is in everything, everything.
And you made that clear when the last time you were in the studio, and the children were talking about, the different disciplines of art that they had to learn. It was just part of the curriculum. It was part of their day to day. And I found it really interesting that they enjoyed it that much as well. Even the ones who said clearly, I'm not really good at doing this, but I'm able to do it and express myself. And it's like, oh, well, that's pretty much what you're supposed to be doing. I want to transition and talk now about, a bit of what the real need is. I mean, we all know that things right now are pretty difficult in a lot of circumstances, and there's a lot of people and a lot of families who are having a tough time. I know arts programming is getting cut all the time, so there's always going to be a need for financing and funding. And, I was fortunate enough recently to partner with Dirty Old Robot, Bill Nobes, who's a fine dude, man. I can't say enough about him and his commitment to the art scene in Trenton. But everybody look up Dirty Old Robot Studios. But I was able to partner with Bill Nobes and some others and to make a contribution to Sprout U on behalf of the work that you're doing and so forth. And I told you that I wanted to commit to working with Sprout U as an organization, as a media liaison, and to do whatever I could to share a bit about what the organization is doing, to highlight the efforts that are being done there, and to help you raise money, to be straight up and honest so that you can keep the doors open and so forth. So I'd like for you to just to take a couple moments. I know it may be a little uncomfortable to do this, but I'd like for you to make that appeal to the folks who are out there who are listening and viewing and who will see it and share it.
Well, Sprout does need funding for the various partnerships that they have. We also need funding. We need funding for transportation. I need assistance, financial assistance for parents that really want their kids to stay in Sprout and they just don't have the means. I look at it as, I want to make sure that, the kids that come in remain in Sprout. Consistency is key. Stability is key. And I want to stay in the building in Sprout. I don't want to relocate or have to relocate because of, no funding, no money. What's wonderful is that the parents that are there, if they don't have investments, this is an investment for them. This is the early beginning of investing in your child's future. Education, they definitely need education, whether it's arts education or whether it's just, academically, stream, STEM, STEAM. Sometimes, it comes a time where you have to remit payment. And even though we're very affordable, if you look at the costs in families, I already know it's a lot, but Sprout needs help. We need everyone's help to continue doing what we're doing and actually to give more opportunities and more experiences. A lot of experiences and opportunities are cut because of financials, money. I don't want to lose my program with the college. I mean, with either one of my partnerships. And I'm, fortunate that they're working with me right now. But, any amount will help Sprout. Believe me, I invest in my students. The money is going to go into one of the programs or something that's needed there. And every kid needs something there. We're not, I guess I want to say, just please, you can go on our website and look at, have a peek in to see what Sprout does. But look at these kids. We're in the city of Trenton, in the middle of the block, with this wonderful mural on the outside of the building. Thank you, Leon, and Trenton Downtown Association. But you got to come and see. You got to look in the window and look and see, if you want to see where your money's going to go and if it's worth it, it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it. And if you could, I know if you could, you would do more because it's worth it. It's that place that you fall in love with the kids immediately.
That's a great appeal. And folks, I want to encourage you just to follow up. And I was just taking some notes just to follow up. And again, I've known Danielle for quite a long time as human beings prior to us even becoming adults. I've seen and interacted with several of the students, boys, girls, different ethnicities and backgrounds in different settings. They regularly perform at Westminster Presbyterian Church, where I'm one of the elders there. They've got a close relationship with the Trenton Downtown Association, the TDA. Artworks. I mean, if you're someone who's in a listening and viewing audience and some of those names resonate with you, or you say, hey, I've supported them in the past, or I know the work that they do. I want to add Leon Rainbow in there as well. I mean,
exactly.
Leon, the mural out front is spot on, which has received received lots of different press.
Yes.
It's a destination for people to go and take pictures, etc. But I say all this, folks, and I'm putting my money where my mouth is, where our family's money and mouth is. We're supporting this organization, and not only doing it like with money, but also with time. And I'm sharing their work on social media. I'm trying to encourage the students. And when we talk about what the future is going to look like, these are the real world things. It's not like just hitting a like on a social media post. This is actually saying, hey, what can I do? Maybe I can $20. Maybe I can throw $50. Maybe I can throw something else into the kitty, which is going to have a direct correlation to the students. Now, again, I want to reiterate, there are plenty of arts organizations that are doing wonderful work throughout Trenton and throughout the region. And this is in no way to cut the pie, so to speak, or say that one is better than the other. I know most of the folks, this is a small community. It's a matter of how do we leverage our access and our experiences to help those organizations out. And that's what I'm doing. My experience through the years with Danielle, with her husband, Joe, her family, the interaction with her students. I'm supportive. And if you're willing to support me and believe that my word carries any weight, I'm encouraging you to take a look at Sprout U and whatever it is. I'm not going to say so much volunteers right now, although volunteers are always needed.
Exactly.
But right now, it may be an opportunity for a cash or monetary donation of some sort. And I encourage you to think about doing that. And if you have some questions about it, you don't want to talk to Danielle, ask some people in the community. Call me. I'll tell you exactly my experiences and so forth, and you can go from there. Danielle, I'd like for you to make one last final comment before we finish up today.
Well, I'd like to thank you, Jacque, of course, for believing in Sprout. It's hard to get, well, I thought it was hard to get people to believe in your dream or actually see out of your eyes. And, I just learned to talk with my heart, and my actions show exactly through my kids, how I feel about Sprout U as a whole. We are looking for partnerships because partnerships begate experiences and opportunities, and not just for Sprout, for other for other nonprofits or companies or corporations. Um, you know, we never say no. Sprout doesn't. Right now, I guess what's needed, and I know what's needed is funding. But we're not opposed to, like Jock said, you know, volunteers coming in, learning coaches, sharing your trade or your gifts. We're not opposed to that. But please, if you're watching this, know that um, your contribution is going to mean so much to my sprouts, and we'll continue to keep sprouting. You'll keep us growing, and that's what we want to do. We want to grow and grow and grow and grow.
Danielle Miller Winrow, founder of Sprout U School of the Arts, located in Trenton, New Jersey. And that's on Phillips Avenue, right?
No, it's on East Paul.
East Paul. My
27
bad.
East Paul.
East Paul Avenue in Trenton. You're going to be seeing a lot more of Sprout U. I'm going to start sharing a lot of imagery from over the years and teasing out everything that's happening on the website as well. Danielle, blessings to you and yours.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Folks, you've been listening and watching the Trenton 365 show, also known as Civic Engagement Radio. The whole idea behind this is that the more we communicate with each other, the more we share experiences with each other, the more we can become better acquainted and become a better community. Jacque Howard here, folks. Justice, peace, and humility. Have a wonderful day.